iron and steel factories come up in India. The year was 1904. In the hot months of April, Charles Weld, an American geologist, and Dorabji Tata, the eldest son of Jamshedji Tata, were traveling in Chhattisgarh in search of iron ore deposits. They had spent many months on a costly venture looking for sources of good iron ore to set up a modern iron and steel plant in India. Jamshedji Tata had decided to spend a large part of his fortune to build a big iron and steel industry in India. But this could not be done without identifying the source of fine quality iron ore. One day, after traveling for many hours in the forests, Weld and Dorabji came upon a small village and found a group of men and women carrying basket loads of iron ores. These people were the Agarias. Agarias. When asked where they had found the iron ore, the Agarias pointed to a hill in the distance. Weld and Dorabji reached the hill after an exhausting trek through dense forests. On exploring the hill, the geologist declared that they had at last found what they had been working for. Rajhara Hills had one of the finest ores in the world. But at this hill, there was a problem. The region was dry and water necessary for running the factory was not to be found nearby. The Tatas had to continue their search for a more suitable place to set up their factory. However, the Agarias helped in the discovery of a source of iron ore that would later supply the VIII steel plant. A few years later, a large area of forest was cleared on the banks of the river Subarnarekha to set up the factory and an industrial township, Jamshedpur. Here, there was water near iron ore deposits. The Tata Iron and Steel Company, TISCO, that came up began producing steel in 1912. TISCO was set up at an opportune time. All through the late 19th century, India was importing steel that was manufactured in Britain. Expansion of the railways in India continuously going on under the Britishes. You can see this. This is the Tata Iron and Steel Industry. Tata Iron and Steel Factory in the banks of river Subarnarekha. So now, huge market rail scheme that was going on under the Britain producers. For a long while, British experts in the Indian railways were unwilling to believe that good quality steel could be produced in India. By the time TISCO was set up, the situation was changing. TISCO, when it was set up, the situation was changing. In 1940, the First World War broke out. Steel produced in Britain now had to meet the demands of war in Europe. So, imports of British steel into India declined dramatically, and the Indian railways turned to TISCO for supply of rails. As the war dragged on the several years, TISCO had to produce shells and carriage wheels for the war. By 1919, the colonial government was buying 90% of the steel manufactured by TISCO. Over time, TISCO became the biggest steel industry within the British Empire. In the case of iron and steel, as in the case of cotton textiles, industrial expansion occurred only when British imports into India declined and market for Indian goods increased. Britishers का import खत्म हुआ, only then Indian production, Indian industries were developed. This happened during the First World War and after, as the nationalist movement developed and the industrial class became stronger. The demand for government protection became louder. Struggling to retain its control over India, the British government had to concede many of these demands in the last decades of colonial rule. This was about the TISCO, Tata Iron and Steel Company. So, iski exercise you all have to do in your notebooks. October 1919. This is the TISCO industry. Tata Iron and Steel Factory on the banks of river Subarnarekha. This is the TISCO industry. River Subarnarekha.